Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss the most asked question about my recent pontoon boat project. That is, what did it cost? And as well as some things I learned along the way. But first, 10 minutes of unrelated nonsense. When I watch others' projects on YouTube, I'm always curious about what it costs, and I find it's rarely discussed, and I don't know why. I plan on breaking down the cost when it was all said and done. This made sense to me at the time. Unfortunately, halfway through this project, I realized I should have just given the cost as I went. So next time I'll be doing it that way. Well, let's get started. I'm going to be rounding here so I don't read off the cents, because as I was reading the first half here, I realized that was just silly. So the pontoon boat itself was $1,500. First stop was to get new tires onto it. Wanted to make sure I made it home. Now, hats off to the guys at Discount Tire. I don't know what they pay them there, but it's not enough to crawl into the pontoons, let me tell you. That was $107 for the two tires. Next day, the trip to the DMV. Needed to register it. Boat and trailer was $246, with a total of $1,853 so far. Next up was the process of tearing the pontoon boat down and throwing everything away. So the dump fee was $11. We then bought carpet glue. That was $13. Bought some pontoon corners. Was missing those. That was a total of $90 from pontoonstuff.com. Flooring, as in the plywood, was $271, and the carpet was $283, leaving us the total for that $668. Now, painting the fencing was actually really not that expensive. I got the paint off eBay. It was $100. Came with all of the mixing cups and strainers you would have needed. So $100 for paint, $22 for masking tape and paper. Total for that section, $122. And now we're getting pretty expensive. So here I have two rear seats, the 28-inch and the corner, $500 for both of those. The steering wheel was $54. Steering system and the original rear seat that I never wound up installing, $373. Walnut was $200, and the upholstery was $60 to get those side panels done. Grand total there, or that section, $1,187. I then spent $11 for some bushings to fix all the doors. Next process was polishing the pontoons. This required $120 for the sandpaper, and I didn't have a buffer, so bought a buffer, some wheels, and some polish. All of that was $68. Total for polishing supplies was $188. If you plan on doing polishing, my advice, don't do it in the garage, because you're going to have some black, powdery, dusty stuff embedded into your floor, and after 3 days of scrubbing, you're still going to have a lot of it there. It's going to be a nightmare to clean up. So that's my mistake. If anybody has any advice how to get that black polishy stuff off that floor, please let me know. I then started the electrical. Now, this cost is going to be a little different for most. I already had a lot of wire, a lot of terminals, and a lot of tools to be able to do most of this on my own. I only had to buy a couple of little things. Keep in mind, you can go to pontoonstuff.com and buy most of the wiring and things you're going to need for, I think the harness is $100. It's kind of on the basic side, but it'll get your boat going, so to speak. Well, let me give you the cost. The battery, most expensive part of it, $122. I needed to buy $87 worth of terminals, relays, fuses, and any ends I didn't have. And then I needed 14 gauge wire. I didn't have much of that, so $28 more for the wire. Total for electrical, $237. Keep in mind that does include the battery. Next up was the fabric of the top. I was surprised at the end of the day how difficult this actually was, but it wasn't as I was doing it. I was just doing it, not thinking about it too much. When I was done, I was like, wow, that was a lot of work and not easy to handle that much material. I don't want to do another one of those anytime soon. However, now that I'm a master seamstress, I don't think it would really be all that hard to do it again. Anywho, needle and thread, $7. I know, expensive. Snap buttons. Now, you can buy those off the internet. You can get like a 100 pack for like $9. Unfortunately, I didn't want to have to wait a few weeks for them to show up. I wanted to get it done and move on. I went to Home Depot and bought 4 packs of the buttons they have to do them all. Total was $20. Later on, I then needed to put the big 1-inch holes for the lights. I needed the grommets and the installer tools and the joke of the hole punch. That was $63. Total for everything for that, $90 for the top. Now we're nearly done at this point. Seats, the two front corners, $513. The two 38-inch seats, $468. The 28-inch seat and the ladder was $390. The lean back for the lady there was $240. The two USB outlets up front, little panels, those were $21 for both. And then 12 cup holders, $50. Grand total for that section of it, which is nearly finishing it, was $1,682. Now, if you're going to be doing this, you can email Pontoon stuff ahead of time. This is what I did. I emailed them, said, hey, I'm going to be building a pontoon boat, wanted to know about your turnaround time. I'm going to order some seats at a time, blah, 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 whatever I was going to do. And they said, okay, great. You know, your delivery zone, you can expect delivery in this many days. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. Oh, also, do you have a coupon code for me? They said, yes, I do. Here you go. I use that coupon code for everything. Some things you don't get much off, but seats you got like $20 off each. That was pretty handy. So if you're going to do that, go ahead and email them. But yeah, $1,682. And we were almost done at that point. The problem is my trailer doesn't have a little trailer jack, and I parked kind of close to it, and I kind of ran over the tongue. So I needed to replace all the hardware inside the tongue, and the next problem is the boat is 8 feet wide. The Ranger that I drive around and tow this boat with is just over 5 feet wide. It kind of became a problem when you want to change lanes when you're towing this thing because you can't see behind you. I bought one of those towing mirror things, so that was kind of handy. So the hardware, the trailer tongue hardware and the towing mirrors, grand total of $35. Now, I know I forgot to include all my McMaster hardware that I bought, the grommets and a couple of boxes of bolts. I don't think it was $100, but let's just, for argument's sake, say it was another $100. So we're looking at another $135 for that. So we have a grand total of $6,173. Now, where I got $6,000 to sink into this boat is anybody's guess. I suppose doing it the way I did, where it's kind of a project and putting money into it as you get it or as you need something, by the time you're said and done, it doesn't seem like you spent that much on it. Suppose that's pretty handy. Was it worth it? Well, I think so. A lot of people are asking a lot more money for boats in much worse condition than mine. The only difference now is I have new seats and carpet and, a running boat. You'll see a lot of boats, pontoon boats rather, for $6,000 need seats. Well, the problem is if it just needs seats, it probably also needs carpet and thus needs a deck too. So you're looking at, $2,000 or $3,000 worth of stuff to get that boat back in normal condition. And usually the console's falling apart, the steering system's on its last leg. Basically, you're doing a whole restore of the boat anyway, but you paid more for it. So, when you buy a used older pontoon boat, this is basically what you're getting. You're basically getting two pontoons and some framing. Well, some pontoons, and with any luck, some halfway decent paneling or fencing, whatever you want to call it. Really, my only regret was not getting a better trailer. So this is a 1981 Hoyser, I believe it's pronounced. It has its advantage and disadvantages. So let's say you wanted to put the boat on the ground, work on it. This is the absolute best trailer for that. It can put it straight on the ground, take the trailer right out of there. Easiest thing in the world to do. Now, launching, it's not so easy. Retrieving the boat, that's not so easy. Towing it, that's a little scary. Risk of damaging your boat is pretty high, so it's not that great of a trailer to have. So I really want to find a new one. I've been looking around on Craigslist since I got the other boat, and the problem is a 24-foot pontoon trailer, one that has bunks. A little hard to come by. You can find 18s, 20s, 22s even if you look hard enough and willing to spend enough, but a 24-foot, you're looking at A, hard to find, and B, a lot of money. But I finally found one. And it just so happens to come with a whole other boat. So the plan is to float this boat off, put it on the other trailer, put my boat on here, and I don't know, do something with the pontoon. This one. Oh, by the way, this was $1,500. It's a little newer than my pontoon, but the trailer is a lot better. Alright, I'm standing over here in what will someday be my garage slash house. Figured I'd show you this other boat. Obviously I have it onto the new trailer, and yeah, I figured we'd walk through a little bit. So this boat has these, what would be a front step up here, so you would step on that and then step onto the deck. I don't really know if it's that beneficial to have that on there, but it makes the pontoon boat probably look a little fuller, more to it, instead of just pontoon sticking out in the front. So that's kind of a neat option. If you're going to be looking for a boat, you know, if you like that, you might want to look for one with that, of course. Otherwise, the Z-bar and railing is pretty much the same as every other boat in the world. This particular boat also has a little back deck where I just have the pontoons where the gas tank sits. This fencing kind of wraps around. Kind of neat. Again, makes it look fuller, gives you a little more room inside. But it also makes the boat look a little more bulky, which, you know, could be bad or good. I don't know. The engine it came with is a 8890 horsepower. That's a V4, much better than what I have on my boat now. I don't know if I'd say better, but I mean, if you're looking at for, you know, overall performance, this would be better. However, my 40 horsepower uses, you know, its parts are a little cheaper and there's less of them, so that's handy, and also drinks, you know, a third of the fuel. But overall, it's not too bad a shape. It looks really good, but you can also see that it's been repainted. So whenever you have a repainted motor, you don't really know what its condition actually is like. But, you know, I'll still go through it. If it's any good, it's going on my boat. This boat also has these brackets here and one on the other side. This is for a bilge pump or a bait tank pump or whatever kind of pump you want to put on there. But it's also good for a transducer, so your fish finder or speedometer. My boat doesn't have these, so I need to find a way to rig them on there. I wish it did, but it doesn't. It also has drain plugs. Well, it does now. It didn't when I got the boat. I needed to put some in there to put it back in the water. So my boat doesn't have those. I kind of wish it did. But this also has no vents or anything along the top. So in mine, if water does get inside the pontoons, it's going to get so hot inside of there, it's just going to evaporate out anyway. In this one, it can't really do that. So you need to drain it. My boat, you don't. So the prior owner of this thing, he bought everything to redo this boat. He bought all new hardware, he bought new wiring, he bought new carpet, he bought lights, he bought oil, you name it, he bought it for this boat. Everything except for the plywood. I don't know, I think if I put it back together, I could probably get a little bit more for it, so I probably will. The thing is, it's just a lot of work that I just did. Don't know if I want to do it over again. But again, I do want some of my money back, and I don't need this thing, so yeah, I'll probably be putting it back together too. And this is now currently how my boat sits. It's got a nice, better trailer on it, and yeah, life is good. I need to spend $400 for 4 new tires, so that's pretty unfortunate. And the bunks should be replaced, so there's another, I don't know, $100 probably. And naturally, I got to go register this one, and given the cost last one, we're probably looking at another, you know, couple $100. So I got some more money into this thing, but overall, I think it's a better trailer. Now, I don't know if it, well, there was nothing really wrong with the original trailer, other than I just didn't like it, / trust it. I threw a GoPro on the trailer so I could see what it was actually like. It's really not that wobbly or shaky as much as I thought it was. I mean, they're fine trailers. They're referred to as yard trailers, which is pretty accurate. But at the same time, they're not that bad. I think it really probably would have been fine to move this thing around for the rest of its life. Well, folks, that's it for now. Join me next time where I build an RC pontoon boat and I race the two.